Hey guys, welcome back for Japan Frequently Asked Questions 3. Tried to get this one to you a little bit faster this time, so hope you enjoy that. We'll just go ahead and jump right into the questions. Okay. Question number 1, learning Japanese. A lot of people ask me, what is the best way to learn Japanese? And that actually is a question that has a lot of different answers. You got books, speaking it, reading it, writing it. I'd really say the best is definitely speaking it. You're going to learn it a lot faster when you can actually exercise the language with your tongue. Reading all the books in the world isn't going to actually help you speak Japanese. It's really being able to exercise the vocabulary and grammar that you learn in everyday language that's used on the streets and in business situations. Unfortunately, a lot of the books that you can buy in Western countries are a bit outdated as far as what's currently being used in Japan. A lot of it's also only based on highly professional and polite business situations, so a lot of it can just be thrown out, a lot of the stuff you see. Some of the worst books I've seen is Japanese for Dummies, one of the worst books ever. All the stuff in there is useless. One of the best books I've seen for learning is called Making Out in Japanese and Japanese for Busy People. I would highly suggest those two books if you are really serious about learning the language. Also, don't worry yourself too much about kanji at first. Get the katakana down, get the hiragana down, and then try to get used to speaking it. Worry about kanji a little bit later, okay? There's over 20,000 characters that can wait, okay? One question I get a lot from people recently is I get a lot of questions from those who have joined it with Ikaiwas or English conversation schools such as ECC, EON, the JET program, former NOVA, GCOM, asking about accommodations and living situations when they come over here, what to expect. My advice to you is be ready to live in a much smaller place than what you're used to in your country. Your average apartment is really quite small for how much you're going to pay. Depending on where you live, if we're talking big cities like Tokyo or Osaka, you're going to pay anywhere between $600 to $700 for maybe a small one-room apartment with a bathroom and maybe enough room for a microwave, a TV, and a bed. So it's going to be a bit Spartan as far as what your living situation has to be. Some people have roommates when they come here. They link up with other gaijin or foreigners and get places together. That's completely up to you. People definitely make accommodations for that. Also, sometimes people have houses that you can live in with other Japanese people as kind of a cultural exchange, or living with a Japanese host family, which if you're very serious about upping your Japanese speaking ability, I would highly suggest. Like I said, it's completely up to you. Most of your Ikaiwas are going to actually have accommodations ready for you. I know JET is the cream of the crop and going to have great accommodations already ready for you. I believe Aeon does too. ECC and former NOVA GCOM I'm not sure about, so you might want to check into that. But just, as I said, be ready to live in a much smaller place. Alright, our final question on this one is going to be about food in Japan. A lot of people ask me, will I be able to get the same foods that I get in my own country in Japan? Well, that depends on where you're from and what you're used to eating. If we're going to compare it to Western countries once again, I'm definitely going to have to say no as far as getting the same foods. Grocery stores are a lot smaller here. The selection is a lot smaller. As far as your junk foods, that selection is going to be a lot smaller too. Japanese don't eat nearly as much junk food as Western countries do. Obviously you're going to find diets heavily covered in rice and fish. Also portions are a lot smaller here. When you're going to go out to eat at restaurants or izakayas, the food is going to be in a lot smaller amounts. But you can find some of the things. Some things that are going to be difficult to find, I'll let you know right now. Peanut butter is not easy to find. Okay. Natural jellies, ones that aren't just that congealed, shiny stuff, actual preservatives, not going to find that around here. Not a lot of organic foods. If you're really into eating organic, that's not really out here yet. As far as junk foods go, if you're a really big junk food eater, they have Japanese versions and a couple of American versions of junk food, but the selection's pretty slim, and don't expect to find pizza around every corner and cheeseburgers. But like I said, you're going to find a diet heavily covered with fish and rice. Alright, that's it for this episode of Japan Frequently Asked Questions. Keep sending those emails and keep giving me comments. I'll answer everything I can. If I don't get to you right away, I'll try to get to you as fast as I possibly can. And thanks so much for watching.